My thoughts, my opinion. Sports Podcast.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to another episode of MTMO Sports Podcast. Doug's, this episode, I will be giving my opinion on an NBA superstar wanting a new scenery. You feel me? Can't wait to talk about this new stuff. Not new stuff, but this star wants to transition to a new team, man. One of the last of the Mohicans on the team that he was drafted by. You feel me? But can't wait to give my opinion on that, man. And I cannot wait to give my opinion on this NBA free agency, Doug. Yo, there are new faces and new places. You feel me? And I most definitely cannot wait to talk about these new places, man, that some of these new faces are at, you feel me? But you already know, man, enough with the talk, you feel me? Let's get straight into the show, you feel me? Let's go. All right, man, let's talk about this superstar wanting a new scenery, man. My man, Dame Lillard, has requested a trade, Doug. Ooh. Woo, Dame. Portland, man. Portland is not in a pickle again, man. They are in a situation to what do you do about this situation? You feel me? Do you give him what he want? Do you try to force him to stay? And it's a lot of things that plays in the mind, you feel me? And I really do believe that Dame should leave Portland. Yes, I said it. I think Dame should leave Portland, man. I think Dame being in Portland, man, he will be a Hall of Famer. I can put my dollar on that. I believe Dame Dollar will most definitely be a Hall of Famer. But it just seems like we want to see more of Dame. I most definitely want to see more of Dame in the big games. We haven't seen Dame in the big game really since he was in the NBA Western Conference Finals a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And even then, the Trailblazers still was not a team that you want to bet your money on that you would believe that they will be in the finals or even win the finals. You feel me? So we want to see Dame in more meaningful games. You heard what Bradley Beal said when he went to Phoenix. You heard what he said in his press conference. He most definitely said that he wants to play in meaningful games. He wanted to play in games that he feel like that there's a chance, there's a hope for him to be on a bigger stage. And that's what we see Dame Lillard at. Because honestly, I think if Bradley Beal would have never got traded, I still don't believe we won't be having this conversation about Dame. I think Dame would have most definitely stayed in Portland. But I feel like once he felt Bradley Beal had made a move, he was one of the last person that was on the team that he was trying to be loyal to for so long. But now he moved on. So I think that really played a part in Dame's decision of him wanting to move on. You feel me? Let's talk about Dame last year. Dame last year had played 58 games. And out of those 58 games, he played about 36 minutes a game. And that's 36 minutes a game. 36 minutes a game. He was averaging 32.2 points a game, which put him third in the NBA. Third. Then he had 4.8 rebounds. Then he had 7.3 assists. Then he's averaging 46.3% in field goal range. And that's just in 58 games. I believe if Dame would have played a little bit more, those percentage probably would have went up just a tad bit more. The assists would have went up a tad bit more, or anything in that nature. But just in those 58 games, Dame was the third leading scorer, putting up hella points, putting his team on his back because he had no choice. He really most definitely didn't have no choice when it was time to put Portland on their back.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
I'm not going to say it's a personal attack, but it is what it is, man. The Portland Trailblazers did not do right by Dame. And what I mean by they didn't do right by Dame, they kept on saying that we are looking to put a championship contender around Dame. If you're putting a championship contender around Dame, why in the hell are y'all keep in the draft every year? Why the hell are y'all not bringing free agents to Portland? or try to persuade or anything in that nature. It's like y'all was like, whoever comes here. In my opinion, a good free agent have a cane that says Melo. That was the last good free agents that the Portland Trail Blazers can actually lure into Portland, Oregon. And it's like there's no disrespect to Portland. You know what I mean? It's just like Portland is just a dead destination to go to.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is just simply what I just said, man. Nobody wants to go to Portland. You don't never hear no free agents say, I want to go team up with Dame in Portland. None at all. You never heard nobody say, yo, draft me to Portland or trade me to Portland. You know what I mean? Really, draftees don't really have no say so when you get drafted to. But, you know what I mean? You don't never hear a person that's coming up in the draft and say, hey, I would like to get drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers. That's been my team since I was a little kid. Anything in that nature. No. It's just like a no. You don't get those stories coming to Portland, anything in that nature. It's just like, don't get me wrong, Portland has some good players, but all of those good players don't even last long in Portland. Brandon Roy didn't last long. Greg Oden most definitely did not last long, man. Greg Oden was just anywho. Who else didn't last long? Like I said Brandon Roy, but Brandon Roy, he gave it his best shot. You know what I mean? I think if he suffered the Grant Hill syndrome for real. You know, bad knees, bad injuries, just really couldn't get himself back into playing condition. Nurkic, Bill Walton, you know what I mean? It just names just keep rolling in, and like Portland, just like you go there and you just fail. You know what I mean? I hate to say fail, but when the last time Portland won a NBA Finals? I'll wait.
Stop it. Get some help.
And that's all Portland should have been doing, is trying to get some help up there, man. You know, once they let LaMarcus Aldridge go, it was just pretty much, that was it. That was no more championship aspiration or playoffs aspiration, anything in that nature, in that aspiration for Portland. But, you know what I mean, it is, you know, they did draft Scoop this year. They did try to bring back Jeremy Grant and try. But the thing about Portland is, like, when they was like, we were just trying to, you know, build a championship contender around Dame, bring some going young is not the answer. You know, most champions doesn't win until they're in their 30s, maybe. You got some 20s, you know, hopefully you can come in there, make a splash, or on the right team to actually get to 20. But, you know what I mean, normally you're about 30s, in your 30s when you winning your first championship, or, you know, close to 30 when you winning your first championship. And I believe that Portland, if I'm not mistaken, when I was on, you know, just watching my guy Bryson on Carving It Up with Bryson, I believe that Portland age-wise was about 26 or something in that nature. I think their average age is about 25, 26 years old. Still pretty young, still don't have no aspiration of trying to win a championship, man. You feel me? And I just don't see where Portland was doing, keep going young each year. You got to find some way to bring some talent down there. I don't know how or which way, but I do think that once you trade Dame, you'll be able to build a young core team like the Houston Rockets was trying to do. You know what I mean? I believe that Portland has some moves out there for some teams. You know what I mean? And let's talk about some of these drafts. Some of these players that some of these teams are trying to draft, you know, trying to get Dame. Let's talk about the Miami Heat. That's one of the teams that one of his destinations that he wanted to go. He chose to go to Miami, which I think will be a good fit for him down in Miami, because if him, Bam, and Jimmy can get along, I mean, come together, learn the Heat culture and all that, and put some good pieces around them, the Heat can possibly be a playoff team, and maybe not just a play-in team. You know, I mean, I understand that the Heat just came off the finals run, but nobody really betted the Heat to make the finals this year. Nobody. Maybe except for the people that's in the Heat Nation. But other than that, nobody really thought that the Heat was going to make it. Nobody thought the Heat was going to get past the Bucks. Nobody thought the Heat was going to get past the Knicks or anything in that nature. But if the Heat would have had Dame Lillard throughout the playoffs, it would kind of persuade people different. It would have been like, oh yeah, the Heat can beat the Knicks. The Heat can beat the Bucks. The Heat most definitely going to have to beat the Hawks and stuff like that. You know, teams like that. And it just seems like now that since Miami is pretty much all broken up, which I'm going to talk about soon, it's like now, how do you really put this team together? So I've seen something like the Blazers can get Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Jamie Jaquez, I believe that's his name, and 2027 first round, 2026, 28, 29 first swap. That's what the Heat can give up to get Dame, which is pretty good. But I think that it sounds like now at first they was trying to add Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero into that same trade scenario. But it seems like now that the Heat was like, hold on, let's think about this real quick. We can't lose both shooters. You know, obviously, in my opinion, I would try to keep Tyler Hero and get rid of Duncan Robinson because number one, Duncan Robinson contract is need to come up off the books. Number one, I believe that Duncan Robinson shouldn't have got that big contract in the beginning, but near here say. So I would keep Tyler Hero because I believe that if you can win games with a Dame, Tyler Hero, Jimmy, Bam, and hopefully they can find their fifth. I believe that's a good starting five. But I believe you keeping Duncan Robinson, Dame, Jimmy, and Bam is not a good starting five in my opinion. You feel me? So I'm liking that the Heat is trying to find some way to keep a shooter, but I would just trade Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. Another team, the Utah Jazz, can say they can possibly get into it. Now they ain't really got the sexiest pick, and the sexiest trade, and I don't think that the Utah Jazz are going to be one of the teams that even Dame go to. But the Utah Jazz is talking about giving up Colin Sexton and Kelly Olynyk a 2025, 2027, and 2029 first round pick. It's not all that sexy, not all that cool, and I feel like Dame going to Utah is like the same scenario of him staying in Portland. Portland got a little bit of a nice team, but I really just don't see that them is a destination where Dame can elevate that team and hopefully bring that team into a playoff. Because that West is packed. Utah didn't even make the play-in. So I don't really feel like Dame can really help them elevate their game. They got a nice team down there with Jordan Clarkson and others. I really don't know Utah team that much, but they got some decent team, but I don't think that'll be a good fit for Dame. I don't think that'll be a good scenario for Dame. The Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are offering Ben Simmons, Cam Thomas, De'Ron Sharp, 2027, 2028, and 2029 first round pick. I believe that's a okay fit for him. I believe I can kind of see that move if he wants to go there. He can most definitely help Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and that team elevate. The only thing about it is, do you trade Nicholas Claxton into that Dame trade also? Because if you use Nicholas Claxton, that's a young rim protector that's a valuable key piece to the Brooklyn Nets. And I don't think that you can do a trade with Nurkic. I don't think that Nurkic will be a good fit in Brooklyn. I just feel like Brooklyn is an okay deal. I think it will come second to Miami. Because like I said, Miami is where he really wants to go. And another New York team, the New York Knicks. Now I don't think this trade will happen, in my opinion, because they just got Jalen Brunson last season. So I don't believe that they're going to be in the field or in the trademark look for two scoring dominant guards to come to that team, because they was looking to possibly giving up a RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, a Evan Fournier, a 2024, 25, and 27 first round pick. I don't think that's will be, like I said, a good fit. Like I said, you're gonna have two guard dominant scores, and Brunson and Lillard, and then you're gonna have Julius Randle, who's pretty much a wild card. I don't think Julius Randle can really be that guy, or he will settle to be that third scorer. You know what I mean? The third option on their team. And I don't really think that Dame and Tibbs will really clash good in a good way, in my opinion. I feel like Dame needs a stronger minded coach. I don't think Tibbs, I like Tibbs as a coach, but at times his in-game adjustments and stuff like that is where Tibbs falls short at. And I don't think that will elevate Dame. I do believe that there's only one coach out of that whole trade scenario that can really fit Dame, mold Dame, and can work with Dame, and that's the Heat and Eric Spoelstra. I believe the type of coach that Eric Spoelstra is, doesn't matter what type of talent he has dropped in his lap, Eric Spoelstra will make the most and the best out of his talent, and I think that he will get the most out of Dame Lillard. You know, I mean, the way Dame can push the ball, the way Dame will shoot, the way Dame can control the offense, command the defense. You know, I just think that all those things is what Dame is strong suit and can bring to Miami, because we already know that Jimmy Butler like to get 2 feet in the paint and pass the ball out. I don't know why, but that would be nice if Dame could come to his eyesight and splash. Because I also think that this is another conversation I like to have before I wrap this session up, is Dame being a top 5 point guard in this league. And to my answer, yes, Dame is a top 5 point guard in this league. I believe that Dame should be talked about as one of the point guards. You know, I mean, we named Steph Curry as the number 1 point guard in the NBA right now. And a lot of people say it's a wide, large margin. It's a margin that maybe Dame is not in the same rim, or other point guards are not in the same rim as Steph. Now, do Steph have a nice lead over majority of these point guards that I have in my top 5? He has a nice lead. He has a nice gap. Yes. Is these point guards in the same room as Steph? Yes, I believe that they are. And here's on my top 5 point guards. We got Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Dame Lillard, Luka Doncic, and my surprise 5th one. And a lot of people, and he just up and coming, just got there. I'm not up and coming in the league, but he's been a surprise the way he's been grinding, the way he's been fighting, and he was able to get his team in the playoff for the first time in hella years. De'Aaron Fox. Those are my top 5 point guards. Now I understand that only Steph and Kyrie are the only 2 guards on that list that has a championship. But if we pay attention to these games, man, we can't go wrong. I know a lot of people will be like, damn, how come Chris Paul not in there? Chris Paul, due to injury, has kind of set himself out of this, in my opinion. Is he still a top 10 point guard? Yes. Is Chris Paul a Hall of Famer? Yes. But just right now, Chris Paul falls into like 7 or 8 on my list. But like I said, he's a top 10 point guard. I know a lot of people going to ridicule me about Ja Morant. Why come Ja Morant's not a top 5 point guard? Because Ja has a lot of things that he has to get better in. And I think that playing above the rim, that AI style, is great for highlights, great for storylines and stuff like that. But I feel like that Ja injury is going to start creeping up on him later in his career. And, you know, this whole gun situation kind of dropped him down the totem pole. And then that gun thing doesn't really solidify him getting dropped because he falls like number 6. I almost had Ja in my top 5. But I just think that De'Aaron Fox was a complete point guard this year without having any troubles, any issues. He might have had a little bit of injury, but the Sacramento Kings had lifted itself. And I think it was due to De'Aaron Fox. Now, for Ja, I just think that for the Memphis Grizzlies, the teams can still be good without Ja. We done seen it multiple times. When Ja's not in the lineup, the teams are still good. You know what I mean? Luka. We didn't see that if you take Luka away, you know what I mean, that offense is trash. That's why they had to hurry up and re-sign Kyrie. That's why they were so brought in into bringing Kyrie back, because they need another star down there. They need somebody, once Luka go on the bench, that somebody can take over the game. And Kyrie can do that. And that's why Kyrie is also in my top 5 point guards, because of the things that he can do, the things that he can control the game, the way he can control the game. And his handles and his finish at the rim is just too nasty. How can he not put him in the top 5? You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's Steph, Dame, Luka, Kyrie, and De'Aaron Fox is my top 5 point guards right now. You know what I mean? And by Dame being in my top 5 point guard, that's why I solidify saying that Dame belongs in the conversation with a Steph Curry. Now, like I said, Steph got him on the rings. Steph got him on a 3-point, shooting the best 3-point of all time. Yes, but Dame ain't no slouch. I already showed you that Dame in 58 games, Dame can average 32-point games. Dame can go out here and get you a 60-point game in a game. You know what I mean? Dame is the most dangerous guy. He's just like Steph. You gotta kind of pick him up at half court. If you can't wait till he gets down to the 3-point line or any lower, because Dame will kill you. He will snipe you. You feel me? So I really like to see Dame in Miami for his new scenario, his new place. I think he will get to Miami, but I just think that it will take some time. I think this is not going to be a quick fix, hurry up at the end of July, anything of that nature. I think this can really go all the way to training camp. This can go until maybe August, early September, or something of that nature. I don't want it to go that far because, you know, I would like to see Dame in the training camp and getting familiarized with his team as fast as he possibly can. And, you know, you don't want this to linger all the way until the beginning of the season, because in the beginning, you know, you just want him to be there and be ready once the season starts, not when the season starts. You feel me? So I believe Dame's a top 5 point guard. I believe Dame will be in Miami. Yeah, and you know that's just pretty much it on the whole Dame situation in my opinion. You feel me? So let's go ahead and switch it up to the NBA free agency.
Let's go.
Woo! The NBA free agency, y'all, is here. It has came. It is, and day one didn't show no mercy. Man, it was like day one of that free agency, man. It just was, everybody was tuned in. Once 4 o'clock hit, man, everybody, them agreements that people was verbally agreeing to, this was just flooding our timelines. It was just getting nasty out there. You feel me? But before we get to the we start talking about the agreements, let's talk about a trade that happened. And I think this trade is a big trade that happened so far, man. And the big trade is that the Wizards, the Celtics, and the Grizzlies all made some trades. As you can clearly see right here, Kristaps Porzingis is now a Boston Celtic. He has been traded to the Celtics for Marcus Smart. Well, it was a three-team trade. Marcus Smart is now Memphis Grizzlies. Tyus Jones is now a Washington Wizard. And like I said, Porzingis is now Celtic. And I think that's a big trade, because now Boston don't have that defender. They're the defender of the year, defensive player of the year, anything in that nature anymore. Who are they going to lean to when it comes to play defense? You know what I mean? It was bad enough that they struggled last year, you know, with Marcus Smart on the defensive side. And it's like, now do you really put your hope and your everything on Porzingis being your rim protector? You know what I mean? Because he's not going to be able to play the best offense. You know what I mean? He's going to have to play a big. And then the thing about it is he's going to consistently have to play Joel Embiid, Jokic, and stuff like players, centers like that. You know what I mean? And it's just, woo. Now, don't get me wrong. Good move for Boston. But I also remember on the previous episodes, I believe that Boston had took a step back. And I don't think this trade gave them a step forward in my eyes. I just think they stuck in neutral Now I understand they're gonna have to fill out the team, figure it out because there's more trades that's going to come. I was saying that Grant Williams could possibly be traded now. You know what I mean? So I see new moves coming for the Boston Celtics, but I just think that this holds them in neutral right now. I don't really say that this puts them in the lead or fighting for Eastern Conference Finals anymore. And like, is this? I don't know. As far as the Grizzlies, I think that was the best move for the Memphis Grizzlies. You need somebody like with that Draymond, and you just lost Dylan Brooks. You need somebody on that defensive end, and maybe can talk some sense into Ja. You need that vocal voice in the locker room to say, "Yo, this is how things are going to be. This is how it's going to be changing. No longer that young dancing and immature type theme anymore. This is about grown man business," and I think that's what Marcus Smart can do. For the Washington Wizards, Tyus Jones, good solid point guard, can run an offense. He showed in Memphis last year that he is a true point guard that can should not be slept on. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's going to be an all-star point guard. He's going to change things for the Washington Wizards, but a solid point guard who's ready to be there on time and ready to run their offense. Yes, because the Washington Wizards is going to need a point guard now that they got Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma down there, which is something I'm going to talk about on my next episode. Is like, who got the better trade, the Warriors or the Wizards? You feel me? But as of right now, man, the Wizards, it looked like they're not trying to compete too much in the East. You know what I mean? But getting Tyus Jones and some first round or some picks, draft picks in the future, it's a decent move, and it's a good way to start when you're trying to build your team. Now let's talk about some other things that happened in the free agency. In the free agency, we see that Jeremy Grant is going back to the Blazers. We see Van Vliet going to the Rockets. We see Kyrie going back to Dallas. We see Cam Johnson going back to Brooklyn. We see Chris Middleton going back to the Bucks. Like I said, Kyle Kuzma signed a nice 4-year deal going back to the Washington Wizards. Draymond Green, he's going back to Golden State on a nice 4-year deal. They believe in him. They felt like that Draymond is a key valuable piece to their championship run. Herb Jones for the Pelicans signed back. And you see that guy on the picture, Rui, is coming back to LA. Well, my Lakers had did some good moves. Bruce Brown has been agreed to sign with the Pacers. I think that's really going to hurt Denver. I think that was a nice spark off the bench for Denver that helped Denver to get their first championship. Kobe White going back to the Bulls. Gabe Vincent coming to the Lakers. You feel me? Caris LeVert going back to Cleveland. We got Dennis Schroeder going to the Raptors. Joe Ingles going to Magics. Trey Jones to the Spurs. And we got Trey Lyles going back to the Kings. Let's see. We got Reggie Jackson going back to Denver after he's been traded there. Shake Milton going to the Timberwolves. Seth Curry going to the Mavericks. Kevin Love going back to the Heat. I guess he enjoyed his time in the Heat. We got my man Taurean Prince coming to the Lakers. I told y'all my Lakers was making moves. Let's see. On the next one, we got Cam Reddish coming to the Lakers. Derrick Rose, who I thought was going to actually retire this year, going to Memphis. Memphis making some great moves to come down there, solidify that bench, and to help our guy, Ja, to stay on the right path. Got two good key veterans down there, you feel me? Josh Richardson going to the Heat. You see that the Suns was trying to build that bench as fast as they can with the league minimum. You feel me? DeAndre Jordan going back to the Nuggets, and my man Jackson Hayes coming to the Lakers. And I think that's a good move for the Lakers for the simple fact that we need another valuable big man, an active big man once AD go to the bench. You feel me? I believe that Jackson Hayes can be that guy that can protect our rim, can run the floor, young legs, you feel me? And I think that's a good move for the Lakers, man. And this is one of the reasons why I chose the Lakers of being one of my top 3 teams of winning NBA free agency this year. If you like I just said, you see with the core key pieces, we was able to get Austin Reeves back. We was able to get Gabe Vincent, Torian Prince, Cam Reddish, Vanderbilt, D'Lo. We was able to re-sign some of these, get these players back, and we got a nice, good core. You feel me? I don't believe that this team can start off as a 2-10, how we started off last regular season. I believe that this team can really compete now in the Western Conference. I believe that this team will not be a play-in if everything goes right, if everything plays into our favor. That we will not be a play-in team. Where do I see us? I see us as a 6-seed team as of right now. Right now, I see it as a 6 seed. And that's most definitely means that we are not being the play-in. That means we are a playoff team. Now, can things change, go higher, go lower? Yes. Injury most definitely going to play a part. We need to see how LeBron's going to be in year 21. We need to see how AD's body is going to react to coming into this upcoming season. We need to see did Donovan Ham really learn something from last year. I believe he did. I believe that he showed that he's he can be a great coach, but right now he's a good coach. I believe with some of the adjustments he did. Now, understand that a lot of people said, well, y'all got swept by the Nuggets, by the champs. They're the champs. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that we was going to come back and get our vengeance and sweep the Nuggets. It's a chance. You know, the Nuggets kind of depleted a little bit. They lost some key pieces. So it can be things like that. But I just really think that the Lakers really, Rob Pelinka, thank you for taking your time and going to building a good key pieces. Now, I'm not a fan of D'Lo. I believe that D'Lo should have. I'm like a back and forth between with D'Lo, man. I'm a fan of D'Lo. I like what D'Lo brings to the team, but what he did in the playoffs last year, man, it really sucks, man. It really shows that D'Lo didn't really bring it. You know what I mean? He was standing after games, putting up shots and all that, but still wasn't trying to put the shots in the game. You know what I mean? It's like, no, dog, that can't work. That's not how things go. You feel me? We need you to be aggressive. We need you to be able to come around that pick and roll. We need you to be able to drop the passes off. We need you to be most definitely ready on that defensive end. And I believe that D'Lo will answer these questions this year. I believe he will play better, get better this upcoming year. I believe he will be more aggressive. He has to be more aggressive. If not, then we're gonna be right back to where the hell we started with this point guard situation. LeBron running the point guard again, and then you have these guys all over the place. I believe that D'Lo should be able to run his offense by now. We shouldn't have to have LeBron try to run everything in year 21. And with the sign of Gabe Vincent, I know a lot of people say that D'Lo will start, blah blah blah. Gabe Vincent will end the game at times. I would say majority of the times. With his shooting ability, I most definitely see that Gabe Vincent is going to see a lot of time on the floor. A lot of time. And I like that the Lakers got some shooting going around the board with the Cam Reddish, the Gabe Vincent, D'Lo can pretty much shoot. Torian Prince, a 3-and-D type guy. So it's like the Lakers get everything that they possibly can need, except for another big man. I believe. Well, Jackson Hayes is good enough, but I believe that we still probably gonna need that third type of big man. You know what I mean? Because Jackson Hayes do get into a lot of foul trouble, and that's not going to help AD if he's always in foul trouble. So I believe that finding another big man can help. I'm not saying that take away Jackson Hayes' minutes, but can most definitely help him in the long run. Another team that I feel like won free agency, the Houston Rockets. Now I know a lot of people was like, wow, how did the Houston Rockets win the free agency? If you paid attention, they went out and got everybody a good veterans that can build their culture, what I think Coach Udoka is trying to do in Houston. I believe he went out and got that Fred VanVleet is a true guard that can be vocal inside the locker room. Somebody that can show Porter Jr. and Green how to, run an offense in an efficient way. I believe you bring in Dylan Brooks. Yes, I said it. You bring in Dylan Brooks, whether it's off the bench or whether it's he's starting, bringing his attitude, his mentality to the game will help the Houston Rockets most definitely build their culture. You need somebody. I just said how Memphis got rid of Dylan Brooks to bring in a Marcus Smart, which was a smart move. Now that the Houston Rockets went and got Dylan Brooks, I believe it's a smart move. Now, you overpaid him. I really think that you overpaid him. But I told y'all when I talked about Dylan Brooks that he still has a place and a home in the NBA. This type of, if he just toned his attitude down, just a little bit, start having that nonchalant, that I don't give a type attitude. You know what I mean? He is a decent defender. He had made the second all defensive team. What more can we ask for this guy? You know what I mean? So I think that bringing him down there with that young core, because he was just with a young core of talent before. Bringing him down there that, try to correct his wrongs the way he did in Memphis, I believe it's a good fit for him. You know what I mean? I believe that Coach Udoka is going to lean on him when it comes to that defensive side, to being that Draymond Green type guy, to be that Marcus Smart type guy. I believe that Dylan Brooks can do that. You feel me? And I just really see that it's going to work out for Houston. I believe that Houston can be a play-in team now. You know what I mean? They almost can make the playoffs. I believe that they can be like a eighth seed. I can really see them being a strong eighth seed. They won't have to fight to get into the play-in just because of, it's new to them. This everything will be new to them. New coach, new culture, new team, new players. You know what I mean? It's new to them. I believe that the Houston Rockets took a step in front of my New Orleans Pelicans. I'm not a diehard New Orleans Pelicans fan, but I was rooting for them. I am low-key still rooting for them because I see potential in those guys down there. But now that Houston Rockets did with all these moves that they did, with their potential, with their coach, I believe that Houston Rockets are now over top of the New Orleans Pelicans. And I believe that the Houston Rockets and the OKC Thunder is fighting for that 8th and 9th spot in the playoffs, you feel me? So I can see it. I can really see that Houston will be a dangerous team, a scary team at times. You can't go to sleep on them no more. If you think it's going to be a 50-point blowout like how they got embarrassed on the season last year, I don't think you're going to see too many of those games this upcoming season. I believe we're going to see a lot of close games. We're going to see a lot of games just saying like, man, only if these guys was together a little bit longer. That's what we be saying. We will be saying to the Houston Rockets. Another team that I felt like, and this is my last team that I felt that won the NBA free agency, the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I know the Memphis Grizzlies did not go all in and go all out to the free agency, but the key pieces that they did bring in, Marcus Smart, somebody that can play that defense and somebody that can occasionally run the offense. You know what I mean? I think he can help Desmond Bane out. You know what I mean? And Desmond Bane signing that big old contract extension, that 205. It's a lot of money to be given to that guy. But I believe that, you know what I mean, Desmond Bane worked himself up. I don't think he should have got that 205. I think he should have been a little lower. But, you know what I mean, when you believe in a player and you see the elevation of Desmond Bane, you can't help but to reward him. You know what I mean? But bringing in the Marcus Smart, bringing in the Derrick Rose, kind of keeping in those same key pieces that you already had with the JJ, the Ja Morant, whenever his 25-game suspension is up and he's eligible to be able to play. I believe bringing those key pieces will help mature the Memphis Grizzlies, because I think that's where the Memphis Grizzlies was having issues in, was their maturity. And I think now that these guys are being matured, you know, having mature players come down there with them and helping them grow and elevate their game, it will help the Memphis Grizzlies out. Memphis Grizzlies was number 2 team in the West, the second seed in the West. Now, I don't foresee them being the second team in the West again, but I believe that if it can stay afloat, which they already shown that they can do, of staying afloat without Ja for those 25 games and bringing in a Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart. I believe that you can do that. I believe that Memphis can still be a top 6 team. You know what I mean? We just going to have to kind of see, because, you know, the West is packed. The West got loaded. The West is always having different teams each year to show that the West is very, very hard to compete with. You feel me? Let's talk about the losers of this NBA free agency, and most definitely that these teams need to, because I just don't think they did a good job, man. And sometimes I just want to think that.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
The first team I want to ask that question to is the Orlando Magics. And the reason why I talk about the Orlando Magics, man, is because last year they went and drafted Pablo Banchero. And I'd say that was the best draft that the Orlando Magic had since they drafted Dwight Howard. And with you drafting Pablo, it's like that's a generational talent. That's a guy that can change the game. That's a guy that I can see, if he can make multiple All-Stars, that he can probably help Orlando kind of curb a little bit, because Orlando got some good key pieces down there with Pablo, with Wagner. But they is so guard heavy. They got so many guards down there, and the Jalen Suggs, then the Gary Harris, then the Markelle Fultz, and I believe they also just went into the draft this year and drafted another guard. And it's like, Orlando, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I believe that Orlando should have kind of traded those draft picks just so you can lower into some cash, to some money or something in that nature, just so you can bring some talent down to Orlando. Orlando is they need talent. They don't need draft picks anymore. They need veteran. They need to do what Memphis and Houston just did and go get some good veteran key players. Not no daggone veteran players that's almost out the league and only make this team because of their name. That's not what Orlando needs. Orlando needs a Marcus Smart. Orlando needs oh man, what Orlando can they need some superstar power down there. And I think that's the only way that they can mature Pablo Banchero down there, is if they bring some good key veterans down there. If they don't bring no key veterans down there, then the Orlando Magic is going to keep being the bottom team of the East, or the bottom team, period. The only time people want to go to Orlando is just to go down to Disney World. That's it. They're not going down there to see the Orlando Magic. Or do you want to go down? It's like you go down there to see the summer league more than you want to see the actual team itself. And it's like, come on, yo, what is they doing? When is y'all ever going to change y'all narrative? When y'all going to stop? Just keep drafting point guards. Like, how many guards you want to have down there? How many guards you want to have on the floor? How many guards are you looking to have on the floor, man? What are you trying to run, the Golden State small ball with even smaller people? Not having nobody over there that's over 6'10", 6'9", or anything in that nature. It's just Orlando Magic. You're just blowing your opportunity. You're wasting talent. And Pablo, if you're not going to help bring no talent down there, get rid of him. Trade him while his value is still high. Another team that pisses me off, the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls, man. They went and got Zach LaVine. They went and got DeMar DeRozan. They went and got Vucevic. And then after that, it's just like a bunch of It's just a bunch of it, man. And you just ask the Chicago Bulls to
wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Just wake up. You got two good key pieces, and DeRozan and LaVine. I believe you should trade one of them and bring in some more talent down there. I believe that you should have tried to see what you can get out of DeMar DeRozan. I believe it. I understand you trying to keep some type of star power down there, but man, you have three good talents down there that the Chicago Bulls just keep on underachieving. I don't know if it's Billy Donovan and his coaching style, or is it just the actual key pieces that they have down there. It should just make you want to just say, hold up. Why? Just why, man? It's I don't know, man. Some of these teams is just really tearing me off, man. It's just like I said, I'm not even a fan of the Orlando Magic or the Chicago Bulls, but I just want to see y'all compete. You know what I mean? You got all this good talent down here and in the summer league. But when it comes to the regular season, man, you're not competing. You're not putting the best teams out there in my eyes. It's just you're not. And I'm not understanding what it would take for them to actually bring some talent to Chicago, some talent to Orlando. You know what I mean? And they're just terrible. I swear, man. I know that their fans are just I just know each year they are just doing that, man. I know when their fans watch TV, it's just
I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
Oh man, another funny thing.
You freaking brats! When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Your actions have consequences. Lil Shorty just said it, man. When will you learn, man? When will you learn? Bring some damn help down there. And my last team, last but not least, we talked about his team earlier. We're saying that he wanted to leave, get a new scenery. The Portland Trailblazers. Once again, the Portland Trailblazers did not do anything in the free agency. Not one thing. And I understand that their goal is maybe to trade Dame away. And that will be their free agency right there. Once they trade Dame and get some key pieces back to Portland, that's going to be their free agency. But once again, to try to keep your superstar happy, try to keep him there, you know what I mean, to avoid all of this trade talk. It's simply just going out into the free agency and try to win somebody there. I understand it is super hard. I totally get it because of the Portland of the Trailblazers of who they are. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. But when you bring some good talent down in Portland, when Portland had made it to the Western Conference, was in the playoffs, when they had the LaMarcus Aldridge, the Dame Lillard, the Nicholas Batum, and a host of other players that I can't just think off the top of my head right now. The Trailblazers were a decent team. Even when they had Melo, it was a decent team. It was a team that you can probably say, yo, if they can get out the first round, oh man, they gonna be a scary team. And after that team then broke up, it's like I felt like Portland automatically went on a decline. Like they were just saying, man, forget this. We got to start hitting lotteries. We got to start getting picks. We got to start getting some young talent around here because Dame ain't it. We got to get rid of Dame. We got to do right by Dame and such and such. And they just keep on bringing all these young talent. They're looking like the Orlando Magics. It's just terrible. Terrible, man. I see why Dame went out. You're not bringing no type of anything down there. It's no help, no excitement. Once you lose Dame, man, I'm pretty sure them ticket prices is going to go down. Them ticket prices is going to be doo-doo. I'm pretty sure them ticket prices is probably already doo-doo now, man. But, you know what I mean? I just feel like Portland, you most definitely, you get an F. You didn't bring no type of help. You didn't bring nothing to help Dame out or try to keep Dame dead. So Portland, you get an F. Chicago, you get an F. Orlando, you get an F. Everybody get an F on this. On my top 3 losers, man. Just nothing but Fs. Fail. You fail to even build a team, to make the right team, make the right key pieces, anything in that nature. You failed. The Memphis Grizzlies, I give y'all a B+. You know what I mean? You able to still try to keep a team together, build the team with Ja going in suspension and try to keep that culture together. So I give you a B+. Houston Rockets, I give you a solid B. Like I said, you already had some key pieces down there, and now that you bring some veteran key pieces down there, man, you most definitely showing that you are trying to compete in the Western Conference now. You're showing that you're no longer going to be the basement team. So yeah, get a solid B. And my Los Angeles Lakers. I know a lot of people are going to say, man, you saying you only gave them this grade because you biased. You a Laker fan. You know what I mean? You can't do that. My Lakers get a solid A. They get an A. They was able to find a way to bring some good key pieces, some good shooting pieces, some pieces that actually fit. None of that old school homeboy ball, none of that. It was great strategy by the Lakers. You know what I mean? To make sure that the Lakers can try to compete in this Western Conference and try to get back to the Western Conference Finals again. So I understand, no, it's not being biased, but the Lakers really went out there and made some moves, and it was great to see, like, finally. Because last year, man, in the offseason, it was like, man, what the hell are we doing? What are we trying to do, man? I know I was pretty much saying, but this year, damn, it's completely different. You feel me, man? And so, yeah, that's where my top 3 winners are. Lakers, Rockets, Grizzlies. My losers, Magic, Bulls, Blazers. Got to do better. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that you will do better, man. And before I go ahead and wrap this episode up, I would like to go ahead and give some congrats out. Some congrats. I shout out to the ladies on this one, man. I want to send some congrats out to Lindsey Harding. She was named head coach of the Stockton Kings, the first black female head coach in the NBA G League history, man. Shout out to you, sweetheart. You most definitely deserve it, man. I don't know too much about your resume, but I'm pretty sure that you deserve to be there. I'm pretty sure you grinded from the bottom, you know what I mean, and become a first female head coach, the first female black head coach in the G League. I know it's going to be many more to come. I just know it. You know what I mean? Hopefully soon, that she or possibly a female will be coaching an NBA game. You never know. You never know. But, you know, that's a great start. That's a great start. You know what I mean? Starting in the G League, showing your purpose, showing what you can bring to the game. You know what I mean? Because there are some great females. There are great coaches, great ballers, you know, great sports enthusiasts, all that. It's the females out here. So shout out to Miss Lindsey Harding for getting that promotion into your new role, into your job. I wish you nothing but success. I wish you nothing but great season and so on and so on. You feel me? And as I wrap this episode up, man, I'd like to say thank y'all for tuning into this episode, man. I appreciate y'all. Keep on viewing, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing, keep on, you know, putting MTMO out there, man. Because without y'all, man, this will be very, very hard without y'all. Y'all feel me? So make sure y'all go tell a friend that can be a friend that can possibly wants to be your friend. That MTMO Sports Podcast is out here, and I'm still going, and I'm still putting out numbers, and I just don't feel like stopping, and I ain't going to stop no time soon. Because you know why, yo? Why I'm on this rage right now? August 3rd. Mark that on y'all calendar. August 3rd. I want y'all to be ready. Be excited. Because on August 3rd, I will have MTMO will be its first live episode. You feel me? I will be going live. And not only I will be going live, that is MTMO 2-year anniversary. So with me celebrating this shit, I'm going to celebrate it with y'all. So make sure y'all save the date. Save the time, because it's August 3rd, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The MCMO will be going live, and I would love for everybody that views this show to come on that show and just comment, just say what's up, say congrats, say whatever, just say whatever topics that discuss whatever topic I'm talking about. Come on in, show some love, you feel me? Because it's going to be a celebration that you don't want to miss. I will be celebrating that whole week, you feel me? Prepping up to it. So August 3rd. Save the date, save the time. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You feel me? MCMO, first live episode, anniversary show. You feel me? I cannot wait, man. I wonder what number episode I'm going to be on. Because this is 109. 109 episodes, yo, in 2 years. Whew, that is dope, man. I'm like dope. I can't wait. I just cannot wait, man. Also while I'm on here, the news for At the Bank, you feel me? At the Bank, official live show for that. Make sure y'all go check out At the Bank also. And my first live show for At the Bank will be July 22nd. July 22nd will be official first live show at the Bank, where you can catch all the Ravens stories, news, all that. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all follow me over there to At the Bank, a Baltimore Ravens podcast, followed by the Grid Network. You know what I mean? On that Grid Network. Make sure y'all come over there, slide over there, and show some love on that also. But as of right now, man, make sure y'all go back to the previous episodes and run those views up. You know what I mean? Like just the way how we ran that wide receiver room at 2.1K views. Let's run all the other episodes up the same way. Make sure y'all go tune in to A New Voice. I'm sorry, A New Voice. You know, that's the last episode At the Bank, talking about Todd Monken and the new offensive coordinator and what he's bringing to our Baltimore Ravens. You feel me? And make sure y'all tune in this Saturday. Real Contenders. You know what I mean? As I'm talking about, is the Baltimore Ravens Real Contenders. So make sure y'all tune into that episode. Make sure y'all tune into my team, period, the Grid Network. Make sure y'all go follow that. We doing nothing but just keep making noise and making movements. You feel me? Make sure y'all go check out the rest of the podcasts that's on this network. Real dope network. And let me give some shout outs to my favorite ladies who just dropped their episode 16. You feel me? Locked In Sports. Make sure y'all go check them out. LOC, the letter N, Sports. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all go check them out. They on episode 16. Dope females that's just talk about that sports just like us. So make sure y'all go tune them in. Make sure y'all go check out my man Rod on Sister Podcast. He always got some funny stuff up his sleeves. You feel me? Make sure y'all go check out my other home, ASAP Network, The Real Talk. Make sure you check out me, Ray, Kenny, Chris talk about our sports ish every Monday and Thursday. You feel me? At 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's pretty much it. You feel me? So make sure y'all tune in. Remember, August 3rd, 6 p.m. Come check me out, yo. I guarantee it's gonna be a dope show. You feel me? But until then, man, I appreciate y'all. And as always, check me out. I'm out, dogs.